Hi everybody, hope you're well. This video was requested by Lizer100, so it's going to be about how to get EC lessons to 60 really quickly. So this isn't going to be applicable for everybody, but this is the fastest and most simple way that I know of. So if you have a better way, feel free to share it, that would be great. So what I currently do with my EC now is this. Now if we have a look at my EC, we can see the number of divines boarded is 83, okay. Now if we go down here, we can see the number of boarded horses is higher than that. Now I want you to ignore this horse for the moment, okay. We're more focused with this one. But if we have a look, everything else in my EC is a divine horse, okay. Everything else is a divine. Now here's the thing, divines do not improve this. See the borders, this here? Divines have no effect. If I was to lose those two regular horses out of my AC, their borders would become 0% because divines do not affect the prestige of your EC. They do make your EC show up as a divine EC because there's so many divines in it, but it does not affect the borders. So if we quickly go into the office here for the EC, actually I'll open that again, hold on. So if we look here, the horses level, so how's horses that have high level skills? And it's at 100% at the minute. And the reason it's 100% is because I have a horse in my EC which is basically in the top of its particular area, right? So I want you to ignore this other one that I said earlier, so ignore that one, but we're going to talk about this one really quickly. So if we have a look here, this horse has 808 in trot, okay? Now, if we go and we look at the best horses on the game, and we look at overall skills, so you want to be looking here, and you can see that this horse is currently the best, it's the most elite in trot. That's why my EC is showing up as 100% for borders, because I have a horse that's the best in its particular skill. Now, if I had the best horse in jumping, that would be the exact same. If I had the best horse in gallop, speed, stamina, that would be the same. You're not necessarily, is it the elite of the elite, okay? Because if I look at this particular horse, this horse here that I have here, now I put this horse in today, so it hasn't affected the prestige. But if I was to leave that horse in there, it would actually go down. Because if we look here, the best skill of this horse is 779, okay? If we look at the best horses in dressage, you can see that that's 854. So there'd be no benefit of me leaving that horse in overnight, so I will onboard that horse tonight before the update because I don't want it to drag my lessons down. So the reason I have a lot of borders in terms of divines is because they bring up my centre capacity, so the Equestrian Centre capacity here, right? That's the reason I have them in there, because I have 50% of my boxes are occupied. I have about 99 boxes at the moment. But for the actual lessons, then I want a horse that's top in its area. Now, it doesn't have to be the best horse in its particular area, okay? Now, I had a horse here. I'll see if I can find it. This one, the Lunatic Fringe, Moon and Stars. Now, this horse I had in January was whenever I first skilled it. And I had it, and up until a couple of days ago, that held my 60 lessons. So it's lasted me, this is about mid-March now, so that has lasted me nearly 2.5 months, okay, roughly. So now, depending on which server you're on, it's gonna depend. So you don't have to have the horse that's the very top here. You can have a horse that's sort of in this range, okay. It's going to be different for your server, so I'm not going to state particulars, okay. But you want to get a horse that's sort of in the best in those sort of areas. Now, it used to be that dressage horses were required for ECs. That's no longer the case. You can have the top jumping horse, top trot, top gallop, speed, stamina, or just horses in that range. So that's the quickest way for me to hold and to achieve 60 lessons, is to not allow anything to stay overnight in my EC that is not going to be up at that top end in a particular skill. So this is why I would leave this horse in overnight, but I wouldn't leave this horse in overnight. And that's the reason I have so many divines in my EC and hardly any normal horses. So that's the quickest way for me personally to get 60E lessons. Now you can, and I know some people will board lots and lots of normal horses. If you have the ability to board a lot of horses that will be able to hold 60E, that's fine, but I personally don't find that I would have enough, passes or items to skill, several horses. So I like to have one really good one, and I keep it there, and hopefully it lasts me a month or two. And in that month or two, I can collect more items to be able to get another horse that will, again, hold my 60 lessons. Now, you might be thinking, well, this kind of makes your EC a bit useless for anything else. Well, the reason I don't let anything stay overnight is because I have the VIP perk, which lets me cancel boarding at any time. So I can put horses, low horses in my EC, and then I'll cancel them before the update. So if I go to that Finn Muller horse, where is he? There he is, okay. So I have that VIP perk where I can cancel the stay. So I can click cancel stay, and he's out of my EC. So that's one of the quickest ways that you can get 60 lessons, is to try and get a lot of divines into your EC if you want. You don't have to, but you can if you do that. And then get a really, really nice, good quality skiller in as well. And you don't have to go and ask for the, you don't have to go out to a team and order the best skiller in the field, because that's going to be, usually it's more costly. You could go for something that's mid-range in terms of, it's still one of the best in its field, but it's not the top one, and it might cost you a little bit less. So anyway, thank you to Lizer100 for asking the video, or for requesting the video. If anybody else has any tips they want to share about 60 lessons, you feel free to do that. And I hope you saw the video, and bye-bye.